Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. It's that time of the weekend, it's Premier League predictions time for the penultimate game of this season for the most part. I know that some teams have got a game in hand and they'll play them over the course of the next week or so as we enter the final week of the Premier League season. And there is still plenty to play for. We've still got a relegation battle to decide. We've still got Europa League football to determine who will be playing in that competition for next season. And we have a Premier League title race to determine as well. And of course, this round of fixtures is going to be big for deciding and hopefully deciding all of that to come for the next week or so of what remains of this Premier League season. This is, of course, the video where I talk about the games, analyse them, and, of course, give my predictions on how I think each and every single game will turn out over the course of the weekend. But before we get into all of that, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section as well. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, people, in regards to any of the football that is coming up this weekend from the Premier League. But of course, give your predictions, because this, after all, people, is a Premier League predictions video. That is what this is there for me to give my predictions and for you to fire back at me with your own. So please do get involved down below. Would love to hear from you all. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk predictions, and we're starting off with Saturday's lunchtime kickoff at Craven Cottage between Fulham and Manchester City, and I've gone with a 4-0 victory to Manchester City, to the unfortunate dismay of Fulham fans and Arsenal fans alike, who I'm sure will be tuning into this game, chanting on their fellow London rivals, I guess, to an extent, rivals a little bit, but their fellow London team, hoping that Fulham can produce a miracle. Hopefully Fulham can give them a lifeline, a favour in terms of this Premier League title race, because Arsenal are doing all they can, but they just need help from elsewhere. Someone to stop Manchester City from getting something. And with Tottenham playing them midweek, they're not exactly banking on them doing any favours for their fierce rivals there. But that is obviously still to come later on down the line. This is Fulham taking on Manchester City, a Fulham side who, seemingly by all accounts in recent weeks, are all on the beach. They're safe, they're sound, they are not going anywhere in terms of being relegated or anything along those lines. They are stuck in around about mid-table, but their recent form has shown that they're not exactly forcing it anymore. They're not exactly going for it as what they were. They're just happy to play out the rest of the season and play it out till the end of the campaign. A Man City side, though, are going to be arriving at Craven Cottage with the full intention of dismantling this Fulham side, getting as many goals as they can, sending a statement to Arsenal that they aren't going anywhere, as of course we enter the final couple of games, 3 games if you're Manchester City, of course, of the campaign. And that's why I've gone with the way that City in recent weeks have been producing these kinds of emphatic results. I can see it happening again. Man City to go on and win this game by 4-0. Pep Guardiola's side to run riot in London in your lunchtime kickoff for Saturday. City to get the 3 points and to heap pressure onto Arsenal. Next up, Bournemouth taking on Brentford, and I've gone with a 2-1 win to Bournemouth here. This game could be any which way, because obviously both of these sides are safe and sound. They've got really nothing much more to play for. I guess you could say Bournemouth could go on to continue their good campaign, much better than what a lot of people, including myself, of course, predicted. So they'll want to end the season off on a high note and continue to see how far they can really reach. That's why I've gone with Bournemouth to win. Brentford, safe and sound. It's not been the best of campaigns for them, but they have secured their Premier League status, of course. I just personally think that Bournemouth may have a bit more firepower over Brentford in the final third, which may see them get across the finish line and get them 3 points. But like I say, with both of these teams seemingly be on the beach, both of these teams seemingly maybe seeing it as a bit of an exhibition game, nothing really much to play for, it could obviously play more into Bournemouth's hands on this one. So that's why I've gone with the cherries on this occasion. Next up, Everton against Sheffield United. Again, two teams with nothing really to play for other than pride. Everton safe and sound, had a good end to the season, on a bit of an unbeaten run right now, and I'm sure they want to keep that going to give the Everton fans something to look forward to for the end of the campaign and for the beginning of next season as well. And that's why I've gone with a 2-0 victory over the already relegated Sheffield United, who have conceded over 100 goals this season. It's been abysmal, it's been dreadful from their standards, and of course their goal tally and, well, goals against tally is growing by the game. I think they'll ship another couple of goals here as well to the Toffees. I think Sean Dyche's side will certainly fancy their chances of another win, another 3 points, and of course a few more goals in the mix as well. 2-0 to the Toffees on this occasion. Next up, Newcastle against Brighton. Big game for Newcastle with obviously Europa League implications riding on it. They will obviously want to keep their noses in front of Chelsea. And I think they will be able to do it. I think this is going to be an interesting game between themselves and Brighton. But I think the extra firepower up front of Newcastle, particularly in the form of Alexander Isak, is going to get them across the finish line. We know that Brighton can be difficult opposition on their day, but their day hasn't really been found a lot in recent weeks or across this season consistently, and that's why they've kind of fallen off a little bit. They're not in the best of form, and I think that kind of bad run of form is going a little bit under the radar, all things considered. But they did pick up a big win last weekend. I just think that I just think that Newcastle will get the job done. I just think that Newcastle will get the job done. They'll keep their noses in front. They'll set their sights on Europa League football, and it's going to be very interesting to see this Europa League battle play out between the sides that are still capable and obviously able to get into those positions. Newcastle to get the job done. Newcastle to win by 2-1 is what I'm going for here. Alexander Isak to be on the score sheet is my personal tip. Tottenham against Burnley is up next. Again, another big battle. Tottenham will want to maintain their position in the Europa League. I know that obviously Champions League football is still mathematically possible for Spurs, but it is looking unlikely with the rest of the games that are set to unfold for them as the season wears on. They're up against a Burnley side who we could be saying farewell to this weekend if, of course, they lose this game, or even if Nottingham Forest get a win in their game. Massive game for both of these sides. I just think with the way that obviously Burnley have been playing recently, they've been trying to make more of a fight of it as the seasons wore on. Been trying to make a fight of it in terms of obviously trying to maintain their Premier League status. I just don't think they have the quality to do so. I see it being 2-2. I've gone with 2-2. It very well could be that Spurs show their class again and obviously show what they're made of in this one. But I think with the recent performances and results of Spurs, with the way that obviously Burnley will attack Spurs, they will leave space in behind for Spurs to exploit. It could make for a very exciting game, actually. We know that obviously Burnley won't sit back and defend. We know that they will go forward and they have to venture forward to try and attack and to try and take the relegation battle down to the wire. It will be huge for Burnley. It will be huge for Tottenham. Like I say, Tottenham still want to keep their Champions League hopes alive, but will also at the same time want to fully maintain their Europa League position as well. But I see it ending at a draw. A draw doesn't really help either side in all honesty. But yeah, I think it will end in a draw this one. I'm going with 2-2 come the final whistle. I'm expecting a very exciting game though between these two, which could be very interesting to watch unfold. Next up, West Ham are taking on Luton Town. A big London derby this one, and I've gone with 2-1 to the Hatters. Now this one may be my heart ruling my head because I want the relegation battle to be taken down to the wire. Luton Town are 3 points away from safety. Nottingham Forest currently occupy the spot just outside of the bottom three. Luton Town with a win here could go level on points with them going into the final game of the season. I would want Luton Town to win here just to make it a bit more interesting for things to happen down there. And obviously if Burnley were to win as well, that would make it even more interesting going into the final game of the season as well. But yeah, this one may be my heart ruling my head a little bit, but with West Ham seemingly being a bit more on the beach, not really got a lot to play for. I think Europa League football is still a possibility, Europa Conference League, and of course for David Moyes' final hurrah as well. I think it's his final home game, I think, at the London Stadium for West Ham after it was announced he will be leaving at the end of the season. It could obviously spark something in West Ham to maybe dampen the spirits of Luton and to condemn them down to the Championship for the next campaign. Either way, I'm hoping that Luton can make it interesting. I'm hoping that Luton can manage to pull out a great escape kind of win in this one, and then we'll see about the final day of the campaign. But yeah, I'm hoping that Luton can get something. I'm hoping the grit and determination of Luton can see them get the 3 points in this particular game. Next up, Wolverhampton Wanderers are taking on the informed Crystal Palace, flying high off of that 4-0 victory that they delivered to Manchester United on Monday. And I've gone with 3-1 to Palace. Palace are an informed team right now in the Premier League. Palace have got the extremely red-hot in form. Mateta firing on all cylinders seemingly up front. Michael Olise is in some very good form as well right now. Oliver Glasner will want to continue to finish off the season on a high note, give the fans something to look forward to for next season. And although, like I keep saying, Gary O'Neill's done a great job at Wolves, he's doing very well with the club and has probably exceeded expectation this season, particularly after being thrown into the deep end so early on in the campaign. I just think Palace will have enough about them to get the job done and to get the victory over Gary O'Neill's side. I've gone with 3-1 to Crystal Palace for them to continue their end of season form and to continue the work that Oliver Glasner has done in such a short space of time. Mateta, again, to be on the score sheet. Next up, Nottingham Forest are taking on Chelsea. Saturday's evening clash. Massive clash, this one, between relegation battling Forest and, of course, Europa League chasing Chelsea. Reports last week came out that Europa League is going to be the be-all and end-all of Pochettino's season. They are demanding, allegedly, Chelsea, that they want Europa League and they won't take nothing and they won't take no Europa League for an answer. This could be a big, big, big game for both of these sides. One that I would expect Chelsea to win given the recent form of the Blues, but also one that is not ever a foregone conclusion, and it wouldn't put it past Chelsea to slip up yet again in this kind of atmosphere, in this kind of scenario, in this kind of setting. We know that Forest are wanting the 3 points. We know that Forest are demanding the 3 points. They could put this whole relegation battle to bed this weekend if Forest are to win, if Forest are to get the 3 points. But it's going to be a tough ask against Chelsea. Chelsea are coming into a bit of form, but that still doesn't mean that Chelsea will definitely get the 3 points. As we know, the Blues have been inconsistent this season and are a bit awkward at times to predict. In saying that, with the form that they're in right now, with the likes of Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson reaching some level of form, you probably would expect Chelsea to win, and that is exactly what I've gone for. I've gone with the favourite here, and I've gone with Chelsea to just about edge it by 2-1 in this game. Next up, Sunday we'll see Aston Villa take on Liverpool at Villa Park. I've gone with 2-1 to Liverpool here. Now, of course, Villa will want to ensure that they get in Champions League football. That could be absolutely given to them if Tottenham were to lose their game on Saturday. But I've gone with Liverpool to win. I think the pressure will be completely off Liverpool now. We saw it last week a little bit. The pressure was completely off them and they actually put in a much better performance against Spurs. I think that obviously Villa Park is a difficult place to go to. But I think the one thing that Liverpool will have over Villa is the fact that Villa will have an extra 90 minutes in the legs of those players, having played in the Europa Conference League on Thursday night. And obviously we are filming this before that Europa Conference League game. It's a massive clash for Aston Villa. They're having to overturn a 4-2 deficit going into that game, so it will be a massive test for them, a massive clash for them. And I just think that Liverpool will be able to take advantage of the extra minutes in the legs of those Villa players. Massive clash, this one. The final away game for Jurgen Klopp to have to contend with as far as what Liverpool are concerned. I think he will go out on a high here. 2-1 to Liverpool is what I've gone for. Hopefully the Reds can finish off the season on a high note. And finally, in what I believe to be the biggest game of this round of fixtures, the biggest main event of this Premier League weekend, is Manchester United taking on Arsenal. And as you can see, I've gone with a massive 5-0 victory to Arsenal. I'm sorry, but I can't see it any other way. United are shocking right now. United are poor right now. United are riddled with injuries. They're riddled with inconsistencies. They're riddled with poor management, poor game management, poor players, poor form. Everything is going against them. And now they're coming up against one of the most informed teams in the Premier League, a team that has got the bit between their teeth and is doing everything they can to try and throw Manchester City off their game indirectly. I just can't see this happening any other way. And I think what has been a bad week for Manchester United already in terms of losing 4-0 to Crystal Palace is about to get a whole lot worse. And hey, there may be Manchester United fans out there that are praying to lose this game in order to help Arsenal tackle their biggest rivals of Manchester City. Maybe Arsenal are the lesser of two evils when you consider the bigger picture. That is the Premier League title race. That is what Arsenal are chasing down Manchester City for. And so maybe there are going to be a few Manchester United fans that are hoping and praying that they lose this game in order to help Arsenal go on and tackle their closest and neighbourly rivals. But it's going to be done in an embarrassing way. Arsenal are playing some insane football, some beautiful football, some attractive football, and I can just only see this happening in one way, and it's going to be an absolute massacre, and United are going to be on the wrong end of it. That's just the way I see it. The goalkeeper, David Raya, is probably going to have one of the most easiest games of his career. The back four is going to be unnerved and unfazed by anything and everything that United even attempt to throw at them. They're going to neutralise and lock down everything across that back four. The midfield is going to be absolutely dominated and controlled by Declan Rice. Odegaard is going to be the puppet master. He's going to have every United defender on strings. He's going to be pulling all the strings. He's going to be conducting the beautiful music that Arsenal are going to be playing. He is going to be on fire. Saka and Trossard are going to be absolutely running riot down the wings. And Havertz is going to have whatever back line you can have or put together or manage to come up together with all the injuries you've got of United. He's going to have them in knots. I can't see this happening any other way. I'd like to give United a chance to make it a bit more competitive, but I can't. I really, really can't, unfortunately. United are an absolute shambles right now. United are an absolute joke at times. There's no structure. There's no strategy. It just seems to be rely on individual brilliance, individual moments. And you're coming up against one of the best teams in terms of being a watertight defence and a team that is just slapping teams left, right and centre with the amount of goals that they're scoring. I'm sorry, United fans. I know you probably will want to lose this game, but it's going to be another embarrassing afternoon when Arsenal absolutely hammer Manchester United into the ground for another embarrassing and humiliating night for Manchester United. 5-0 to Arsenal. The Premier League title race rolls on to the final week of the season. Arsenal putting the pressure onto Manchester City's game in hand, which they have over Spurs. What a scenario that is, by the way. United play Arsenal, and then a few days later, Tottenham will play City. City fans will be hoping United can do them a favour. Not that they probably have much hope in that. And then a few days later, Arsenal will be wanting Tottenham to do them a favour. What a scenario they have. And I doubt that either of those two teams are going to be able to do them a favour. So, it is what it is. But it does probably mean that the Premier League title race will roll on to the final game of the season, a week on Sunday. And there you have it. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think and feel. Let me know what you guys think and feel. Your thoughts, comments, opinions, but most of all, of course, your predictions will make for interesting and great reading down below in the comment section. So do get involved down there. Hit the like button on the way out, people, if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I'll see you speak to you all again soon. Oh, sorry, Premier League predictions video, should I say. And I'll see you speak to you all again soon in a video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the football. Speak to you all again very, very soon.